wouldn't fall until last. Why? Because it always goes last. It just does. I learned that it was one rule that wasn't worth bucking. That left duration. In the company proposal, the contract was up for negotiations 4 months after the last raise became effective. The union proposed that the contract not expire until 12 months after the last raise. A mere 8 months were all that separated them. Ironically, the last raise was only a 1% raise, so the company probably could have taken the union position outright anyway, because they could bet they would wind up paying more than a 1% increase in the first 8 months of the next agreement. But in any event, they had their position, and by God, they were sticking with it. The union thus hatched a plan. They said to me, "The smallest issue left on the list by far is duration. The other 3 issues are huge. We are poised to make a major move on the healthcare issue. If the company gives us what we're seeking on duration, we'll come back and propose basically the same healthcare package the company proposed a few days ago. But we can't make the first move." To trade such a small issue like duration for an enormous issue like healthcare was a significant move on the union's part, to say the least. I quickly called in the lead negotiator for the company and sat him down with the union's chief negotiator. It was just the 3 of us in the room. The company negotiator was a seasoned veteran. He had negotiated contracts for large employee groups in several different industries. By all accounts, he was at the top of his game, the peak of his career, the number 3 executive in this mammoth company. The union representative spoke first and laid out in a very matter-of-fact tone the terms of their deal on the 2 issues. "We'll give you your healthcare proposal," he said, "if you can give us the 12 months on duration." The company rep paused for a few moments, then spoke. "I'll give you 8 months on duration." I couldn't believe my ears. Obviously, neither could the union rep, because he just lost his temper and stormed out of the room. The company rep followed him out the door and started back toward his room. I ran after him. "Are you crazy?" I asked him. He seemed as puzzled as I was. "What do you mean?" "I mean, they are about to give you the healthcare issue exactly the way you want it, in return for a measly 12 months on duration. Only 8 months more than you proposed." "I can't do that," he said. "Just accept the proposal exactly like they laid it out." "Why not?" "I'll look weak." He thought that by just accepting the deal that the union laid out for him, without cleverly jiggling the numbers, kicking the tires a little, that he would just look although he were caving in. He was right, caving into probably the best deal I had ever witnessed. I was incredulous. "You'll look like a hero," I answered. We stood in the hallway arguing for several moments. All the while I was aware that the union rep was on his way back to tell his committee they were going home to prepare for the strike, that the game was over. I told the company rep that he was crazy not to take it, that he was being ridiculous. He finally relented, but under great protest. He told me I was the one exercising bad judgment, and that I was making a huge mistake, but that he'd reluctantly agree to the 12 months duration. I raced back to the phone and reached the union rep precisely at the moment he was walking back into his caucus room. I told him that he had his 12 months duration, and that I expected him to keep his end of the deal, which he did. These parties ultimately closed the deal on money and retirement a few days later. But I can attest to the fact that this one episode left wounds on the union side of the table that never quite healed. They felt they had gone the extra mile to get the talks jump-started after a period of dormancy, and with the end closing in on everyone. In return, they felt as if they had been slapped in the face, and it was only reluctantly that they were willing to